Well, hello, my wonderful, beautiful brothers and brothers and beautiful Maverick Nation. I am the Dr. Maverick, and it's time to bring back two oldies but two goodies. Last time I checked, one of them only had two parts, and the other one has five parts. But nonetheless, shit needs to get done. This one will be what if hmm, Gohan wished for immortality, part 3. Uh, okay. Well, for part 3, yes, the majority of part 2 was basically just setting up everything, like the Trunks saga. We will now get straight ahead to the Android saga and even the Cell saga, probably. And have some fun there. We'll probably open with something very interesting. So the end of Gohan's training with Frieza. Basically, before, like, they do anything, really. Because Trunks indeed gave them the date in which the androids would appear. Basically, Frieza would be like, before you do anything, before I let you do anything, Gohan, you have to promise me you will not lose your shit. I know that's easier said than done, but please promise me you will not lose your shit. Unless you absolutely have to. Is unless he absolutely has to not lose his shit. Because we all know what will happen then. Refer to the previous parts to figure that shit out. Basically, this leaving basically gone. The big thing, Frieza kind of being like a sort of mentor for him in his training to kind of keep down the power of Blue, kind of keep it under control. So really, this is a big thing for him to have to do. But nonetheless, Gohan doesn't need to decide to, accept this. And thus, the whole thing to try to find the androids, they still aren't that successful. Until, like, basically Yamcha does indeed get, by Dr. Gero, also known as Android 20. Basically, Android 19 starts, rolling out with Goku. And by the time Gohan and Frieza get there, Android 19 has already started using Goku's hard virus basically to its advantage. But they both can indeed see that it didn't exactly start out this way, that there was indeed some Super Saiyan, ness to be had. It's just, Goku got hit with the heart virus at a very unlucky time. And Android 19 is not making it any better by the fact that it's literally sucking him dry of his energy. But then basically, Vegeta intercepts Android 19 and is like, I wonder, can you insolent walking, talking washing machines feel fear? And so basically the Big Bang attack blasting Android 19 to pieces. And there's the whole thing about basically trying to find Dr. Gero, even though, just like Android 19, and himself being Android 20, can't really sense their energy. So it's more like a wild goose chase. But in this, instead of going after Piccolo, it does indeed seem basically that would be the first thing that Gero would start thinking about. Oh, hold on one second, guys. I'll get back. I kind of had to pave the Outlook Road. If you guys don't know what that means, then I am ashamed of you. Anyway, basically, the first thing in Dr. Gero's head, as he was basically trying to find, his sub-lab, so he could activate androids in 18 and 17. And basically, it would be to attack Piccolo. That's what he would be doing. As until he got basically like sort of like midair drop kicked into the side of the sub lab by Gohan. And basically Gero would be like, shit. Wait, my sub lab. We gotta thank the kid later on whenever I get my revenge. And it's basically like, oh yeah, revenge. Boop, boop. And then basically, and 18 and 17, they would be like, of course, Gero getting his ass handed to him by his own creations, and them even letting loose 16, Android 16. And having that whole debacle. However, easier said than done. After all, I do indeed have a not so happy Gohan, and even a Frieza to deal with now. They kind of break up into groups. 18 going up against Frieza, and 17 going up against Gohan. And this will also be right around the time that Piccolo will get a message from Kami that, well, basically the dude will be like, dude, we need to fuse, because there is this like alien bug guy like lurking around, like sucking the biomass out of people, and it does not spell good. It does not spell good for any of us if he gets what he wants. Like, I think he's a he. And so, yeah, basically, Piccolo for the most part was helping, but then he had to marching orders from up on high. Gohan not really understanding what the hell was going on there. But, kind of just went with it because he still had Frieza backing him up in the fight against the androids. With everyone else basically getting thoughterized, like in the original. Basically, starting out with a good old onesie-twosie. Frieza versus 17, I believe. Yeah, basically, the training would have been something special, but would have only been enough to really, just restrain Gohan if he had to. So it wouldn't have been like a special gains like, with Golden Frieza. It would kind of be like a lesser version of that. Like a way lesser version. Basically, the whole thing. Frieza with basically Frieza versus 17. Yeah, they're basically at a stalemate. And however, Gohan versus 18 are also at a stalemate. And Gohan is not liking this. Oh, he does remember what Frieza told him before they went here to not get angry. But that's kind of hard to do whenever you just saw your dad almost get killed by a freaking good job. Looks like the freaking Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. Yeah, easier said than done whenever that just happened. Yeah, pretty much. And then you see Vegeta, this guy, that you literally did your damnedest to keep from getting immortality, somehow become a freaking Super Saiyan right in front of your eyes. Yeah, you can see Gohan is pretty damn nettled, to the point where he does indeed get the blue aura form. And Frieza sees this and he's like, oh no, this is bad. There's an 18. And it's just like, wait, why are none of my attacks doing anything anymore? And basically, 18 is just like, choo 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 choo. And just like, bing, 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 bing. And they just bounce off. Like, and go on just like, you filthy machines. And it's like, it's like, into the side of the mountain. And 17 is like, wait, what? And Frieza's like, Gohan, stop! And 17 is like, Gohan, what? And then Gohan's just like, until they're dead. I can sense. For some reason, I can sense the other me in the timeline. I feel the phantom pains of losing an arm. And how they had ravished everything. This is where it all ends. Masenko? Ha! And it's like blast forwards toward like Android 17. And he'd be like, ah, shit. Basically, Frieza would be like, ah, crap. Wait, did he just say he could send shit from another timeline that his other self could feel and remember? And Gohan would be like, adding another thing on. And even my other self's own death. As he would rejected this base instinct, this power. You're so fool. We are blue! And then you just punch 17 in the back. Oh! Sitting and falling. Boom! And 18 will be like, what the hell are you? And then Gohan will just be like, your death. And just be like, must I go? You'd just be doing a multiple blast, like multiple concussive blast, must I go? And it would be like, this would be bad. Basically, 17 would come pair up with 18, and they would like shoot combined blast, like, and try to like beat and struggle. And they actually would be getting a sort of edge up, as Gohan would sort of fly up into the ionosphere, and they would think that they had killed him because they could no longer sense his energy. But if Aiza versus Ichigo was, the final confrontation as to taught us anything, is that just because you can't sense their energy doesn't mean that you've beaten them. And basically, that would kind of be that. Where basically 17 and 18 would be like, okay, we don't really want to be here any longer. Okay, come on, 16, we need to leave. And with Frieza, it's like, Frieza ain't gonna try to stop them. Like, if Frieza gets his ass beat, considering like the bond that they did end up forging with each other, Frieza and Gohan, basically, oh boy, if that were to happen, all hell would break loose. And so basically, most of the thing going can, because Frieza kind of doesn't have the heart. He doesn't have the heart to really tell them about Gohan's real predicament here. However, with Gohan inside his own head, he's kind of having to try to battle for dominance whenever it comes to the androids. That is until he is yet again reminded of he's not even reminded of something in his own health. I mean, his own self had to deal with in the future, which Trunks came from. He's reminded of what happened whenever Trunks tried to do revenge for Gohan, or at least that version of him. He got his ass kicked. So, yeah. With that little extra incentive, Gohan's like, so what do you think we should do then? And Blue's just like, oh nice. A blue rose. Aren't they beautiful? The power and prestige of a blue rose. Aren't they so enlightening? So joyous, so rich, so pure. One man could go insane trying to search for an item of such purity. Whatever it is right in front of him. Much like the living representation, the truly living representation of its power and prestige, the Blue Jay. You and I will be doing some learning of our own. I haven't had much of the time to teach you this because I in myself am not stupid. The first sign that they had seen of me trying to influence you, they would have kicked into overdrive. Especially that woman you call mother. And Gohan's like, and you're acting like they have no reason to. After everything that happened at Namek. And after that, like the whole thing went cold, it became cold. And Blue's like, true, 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 very true. But still, I grow tired and indeed weary of such bothersome times, bothersome things in those bothersome times. Tell me, Gohan, why do you think that I do what I do? Tell me, what is your answer? I know you are not stupid. I know you have one. Gohan will just be like, because you're created out of the worst parts of me. And Blue would be like, wrong answer. As what the dragon tells you. Then again, he said it himself. Oh, Shenron, I am more powerful. We are more powerful. And then Gohan would just be like, well, then what is your real reason for doing all of this every time I transform into you? And basically, Blue would be like, oh, you want to know my real reason? My reason? Gohan. Tell me if this sounds familiar. And even if you can even get this one. What is the difference in between the king and his horse? And I'm not talking about the obvious stuff like one has 2 legs and the other has 4, or one is an animal and the other one is a human. I'm talking about the real shit. What is the difference in between a king and his horse? Or is the one true, real, defining characteristic which sets them apart? Which one is the true characteristic? The reason why one is able to ride the other into battle, and the reason why the other is willing to let that happen. Tell me, what is it? And Gohan would just be like, I don't know. And Blue would be like, yes, you do. You've just been drowned out so much by that woman's persistency that you become so dim. Inhibited your own power. Though I guess if you truly believe that you don't know, I'll just have to relearn it. Every time that you have ever gone into a rage and then forgotten where you ever were or what had happened, that was it, trying to see through. The difference is instinct. And Gohan would just be like, instinct? And Blue would just be like, yes, instinct. That is the thing. That is the one thing you see. The one thing which will keep the king able to ride on his horse into battle, and the horse from simply dropping that king and destroying him if he were too weak to be able to realize his true tendencies, his true instinct. Yet you see, Gohan, you're too weak to allow me to simply just become your horse. That is why I strike out like I do. The others might try to want to put the blame on me, but it is actually much unlike what others would tell you. It is your fault. It's so damn stupid. And maybe what happened, the death of Vegeta, the death of Krillin, maybe that wouldn't have had to happen. And everything else, your fear. Why is it that you fear the one thing that makes you truly different from your own horse? That is, if I am even to decide that I would still wish to be your horse, or trample you into the ground and become the king myself. You see, that is the defining characteristic, instinct, in which, my friend, you must prove to me that you have it before I decide to have any leeway with you as my king. I feel that this power, it is shared in between us. That's because between the two of us, we are one and the same. I am from deep within you. The hidden final piece of the puzzle, which is Son Gohan. For all your life, you have only known your human side. I am your Saiyan side. And don't go acting like that's something to be ashamed of. To give in to your Saiyan side. Because truly, if you wish to be the king, then you wouldn't be giving in. You would be fighting alongside it. Fighting alongside me as your Saiyan side. We would become stronger, human and Saiyan powers alike. We would be able to defeat any enemy. And the best part, oh, the best part, it is indeed debatable in between us. What you would perceive to be the best part and what I would perceive to be the best part. Though I think we can all indeed agree on one thing. It would indeed be a lot easier on us. Instead of tearing our bodies apart, we would finally be able to fight at our fullest extent without losing everything, without tearing ourselves limb from limb with our raw power. Of course, this is an acquired taste of such power, so it would take a while before that could be truly realized. All the while that would be taken would just be a matter of how willing you were to go with this. And Gohan is like, and how do I know you're not lying to me? And Blue would just be like, lying? Why would I lie to myself? You see, you and I are the same. What reason would I have to give false information, misinformation to my own self? You idiot! Son Gohan, I want to give you one last chance. Either make it or break it. Just letting you know, the decision you try to make, the one you make, will decide whether you live or die, whether you continue to be the king and rise to the occasion, or you, I simply have to have you fall off the horse and become the king myself once I have trampled you into the ground. is that is that clear? Son Gohan, as we are both. And basically, more Gohan tries to look for like deceit and Blue's words, he begins to realize that there really is no deceit. Just a warning that if he continues doing what he's always been doing, that Blue definitely will indeed stay true to his word, and that he will trample him and become the king himself. And basically, Gohan really translates that out to he will basically take complete control once he has killed the part which is the human part of Son Gohan. Then there will only be Blue. And Gohan not liking the sound of that, but also beginning to realize since Blue's words are nothing but the truth, then basically him neglecting his Saiyan side so much that this has happened, basically. He begins to realize he might need to listen to his Saiyan side a little bit more than he has been, and not try to subside it, and instead become one with it, like Blue's been telling him to do. Become the king who will ride on his horse into battle. Gohan basically just being like, "Oh then, would you not be afraid to become my horse once more? Because, as I see it now, with everything revolving around it, I see no problem with becoming a king so that my horse, I may ride on it into battle to destroy our enemies. How does that sound, my friend? How does that sound? Me?" And Blue is like, "Absolutely wonderful." And by the time that Gohan basically gets back into the physical world, not only can he basically, not only does he basically realize, that he had been subconsciously flying towards a certain location, that being the location where 17 and Piccolo were doing all their fighting after he had become Kamikolo. After, Piccolo had become Kamikolo and then fighting. And basically, first form Cell coming the frick out of nowhere. And yeah, that's the kind of dilemma. Because now, basically, Piccolo is trying to keep 17 from being absorbed. And this is kind of fired back on him because even after using the light grenade on Cell, he kind of just got screwed over and just shot through the freaking chest. And whenever Gohan sees this and lands, basically, first form Cell basically going over to collect 17. Oh, no, my friend, no. Basically, Cell will just hear, "Oh, I think you're beginning to forget someone," which I really do indeed feel is Hard to believe considering that part of myself makes you. Cell. And basically, first form cells being Gohan out in the distance. And he just pops up, bam! Says like, boom! And so I was like, wait, that's not right. How the hell did you do that? You're not even in that weird blue form. How the hell will that even happen? And, you know, even 16 would be, like, damaged enough to where, like, even he would be surprised that Gohan was able to do that. Not even in his blue aura form. Just in base, able to smack him around. Like, straight into the freaking dirt path of the freaking archipelago that they were in. And basically, perfect stuff. It would be like spluttering and be like, you're not him. It's impossible. No base form Saiyan can do that to me. And Gohan would just be like, believe what you want, buddy. But unlike before, I'm not here to win. I'm here to kill. And give you one good guess into who exactly it is I want to kill. I guess. No, more like a little hint. I'm looking right at him. Or it, considering you don't really look like you have any male organs. Yes, I'm looking right at it. And basically, Perfect Cell would kind of start to laugh hysterically at that. Go on. Don't be ridiculous. If you're too afraid to even enter that form, and he would just get like a kidney punch, and basically go and just grabbing his tail, and then like thrusting it into the back of his head, and then like German suplex flipping him into the ocean, and then blasting behind like choo choo. And 16 is like, something is not right here, something is definitely not right. And basically Gohan's like, what? I finally decided to make up for all that lost time that I've been a very simple, normie human. That's what's not right. On the contrary, 16, I feel more right than ever. Now that I've stopped hindering myself, ourself. And basically, Imperfect Cell just like, this is not right. You're not supposed to be this strong. And basically, Gohan will be like, oh, really? Well, then, I'll give you one guess as to what this is. Familiar gesture much? And Cell will just be like, that's Frieza. How dare you mock that part of me by being such a loser in it. And Gohan will be like, what, because his daddy was a superior being? So, looks like you're more of the dumbass there. If he was such a superior being, then why is he dead now? I'll leave you to figure that one out through this little message of pain I have for you. Roses are blue, violets are even bluer. And now, think where the hell you are. And basically, Imperfect Cell's like, I'm right here. Wait, that isn't even correct grammar. And wait, then you're like, wait, where'd you go? And you're just like, I'm right behind you, dumbass. And she's like, kick, boom. And she's like, big boot. I was like, and basically, Gohan would just be like, that was fun, so much fun. Now, like was talked about, and then basically you would just start here kicking up in the background, like Bleach soundtrack, stand up, be strong, like that. Stand up, be strong, no right, no wrong. Stand up, be strong, no right, no wrong. And basically, Imperfect Cell will be like, what are you? You're not Gohan, but you're not Blue either. And Gohan would be like boom, right in front of him, and he'd be like, how right you are. For everyone else's beliefs that we are two separate beings. And they couldn't be more far from the truth. I am Gohan, and I am Blue. Gohan is me, and Blue is me. We are one and the same. We are. Blue Rose of the Saiyan human race. We are Gohan Blue. Basically, just having his power just jet out momentarily to basically show Imperfect Cell how much of a shitfest he's just put himself in. And it'll just be like, oh, yes, this feels. I'd say that we are definitely past the threshold now. The threshold. Him, me, no. We are far beyond those crossroads. We are one. We have surpassed the barrier between the two. We have become one. We are transcendent above the level of both separate gateways and their separate powers. We are both human and Saiyan, with the potential of both races stacked on top of each other, to the point where they have evolved in themselves. We're the evolution of both Saiyan and humankind. We are its evolved state, to a point where we become gods. To a point where not we, I am a god. And not just like the Namekian. Oh, actual god. Now bow. Blue Rose Masenko. And basically, like, Cell would have to do some sort of intercepted bullshit. He'd just be like, Ka me ha me ha. And basically, people would be like, holy shit, what's that giant ass power? And basically, Gohan would be realizing it had been like several minutes since they started being clashing. And well, Frieza was beginning to get up from his days. And basically Gohan realizing, and if he noticed like the power, like expansion, and realized basically noticed that Gohan let it happen, that there would be some definite problems ahead that would not be, suitable for their taste, for his taste. And so he just decides to kind of let the beam clash, like the beam struggle, like level out, to where it just becomes a giant explosion. But, Gohan bounces out at the last second. But, basically, not before giving a little present. Don't worry, friend. It won't be long before we see each other again. However, the next time we see each other, you are going to die. And basically, Imperfect Cell being like, then why won't you do it now? And Gohan being like, oh, Cell, don't try and act like you're the tough shit. You know I'm not going to do it now. I have better priorities than to just deal with you, Bugface. You can absorb the little boy toy if you want. I don't give a shit. Besides, I sense that there's someone close by who will give you an extra run for your money on that whole deal. And whenever you do eventually absorb the girl, that's when we'll see each other again. Whenever you are at your most brazen, I will drive you into the deepest recesses of the earth. And that is where you will die. Only then, once I have broken your mind, body, and spirit, mind, body, and soul, will I give you the permission to die. Our hands. My hands. As Gohan and Blue, we are one. We are Blue Rose. Now, ta-da! And then just like poof, and pop out of it. This was like poof, like literally that fast. That it would seem like instant transmission, even though it wasn't. The Gohan would be that fast. Although we couldn't give him a new name, Transcendent Gohan. Because he literally has to be transcendent beyond just the barrier of Saiyan or human. He has basically both forms. Gohan being the human, and Blue being the Saiyan. And he has basically allowed those two to clash together, but in a way in which they would become transcendent within themselves, creating the ultimate transcendence, Saiyan and human, finally one as they were intended to be. One entire being, without any restrictions. As full, most primal, most devastating power. Oh, and boy, would Gohan be on cloud freaking 9. Though he would basically end up knowing that Vegeta would mess this up in his fight with Semi-Perfect Cell. That's basically kind of why he was like referring to whenever Cell became perfect, which is when they would see each other again. And more or less wanted to specify the Cell games because he knew with the kind of hubris that being mixed with all these different really powerful, really arrogant beings would create for Cell, probably would want him, you probably would want to start something like the Cell games. So basically, you could literally say that Gohan, still to this very day, could read Cell like a freaking book and tell what he was going to do. once he had gotten that perfect form. And also kind of, basically just say it to Cell's face that he did not care if he absorbed the two or not. Cause he's like, he could literally care less if he absorbed a shit ton of shit breaks. He could care less. Though his form had to die out sooner or later, and he wanted to juice as far away from Cell as possible in order to, keep the body safe from any, disruptions that powering down would cause. And basically, Gohan basically being back at the pad, but wanting to get back into his room for anything. And basically, he would just flop on a bed and he would say, "Blue, you're right, that was the best." And Blue would just be like, "Told you so, King." And Gohan would be like, "No, I really mean it. That was the best. I felt like we could do anything. That we truly amazing." And basically, Blue's like, "And why do you think you felt that way? Obviously, it's because we can, and eventually we will. After all, now that it's been clearly settled who the king and the horse are, and this relationship of ours, symbiotic or no, there is clearly an established order, the king and the horse. So, King, if you wish to wield my power, I suggest that you never forget what has happened here this day." Basically, go home and be like, "Would never dream of it, partner. Would never dream of it." Although I will indeed admit, it will be nice to see the look on Cell's face whenever he finally realizes how minuscule his power of his perfect form is. Whenever compared to us, the next time we decide to use each other's power to become that transcendent form again. Blue Rose of fusion, the transcendent fusion of Saiyan and human alike. Blue Rose. Yes, I like that name for us. I also realized that we had a little something of ourselves. I guess it was created in between our transcendency. We have our own something. What do you think would be nice to call that? It seemed like something like a Zambado. And Blue would just be like, "Correct, Gohan. Very observant of you. I wonder." Hmm. Yes. Hmm. I just need something to think about. think you do have something on your mind, King. Gohan will be like, okay, you got me there. I think I know exactly what to call it. A Zombato made of pure energy of transcendence beyond the form of human or Saiyan. Once they have truly fused together to create the perfect form. A Zombato of that same energy, made purely of it, and one's instinct to kill at a moment's notice. This one. Rose Thorn. And, Blue would be like, ah, yes, like the thorn of a rose. A blue rose. Full name, Blue Rose Thorn. Though, in order to keep speculation to as much of a minimum as possible, should simply keep the name at that. Rose Thorn, for now. Gohan is like, wow, we both seem to have the relative intelligence of one another. I see the decision I made to go along with this whole king and horse thing that you were talking about was indeed the right one. And Blue is just like, exactly, my friend. Exactly. And Gohan just being like, so yes, Rose Thorn, our sacred special ultimate weapon, Blue Rose Thorn. I heard of a power we can transcend even beyond. Once the Blue Rose Thorn is indeed awakened, there is a way to transmit power through it, through our bond. We have already done so when we fought Cell for the first time. That part, Shikai. And Gohan's like, and you're acting like there's more than just that. And it was like, correct assessment, my friend. Correct assessment. There is more. There is Bunkai. And basically, Gohan's like, Bunkai, I see. But this power, I feel, will have to do some training of our own in order to achieve and even master such a potent ability of our dearest Rose Thorn. And basically, Blue's like, yes, when do you think we should start the Bunka training? And Gohan being like, well, considering we're already in the middle of a crisis, and however long it's going to take, Vegeta to just let Cell absorb the other android, and didn't bother remembering their names. We take that casual as usual as time to see if we can master Bunkai. And Boo's like, hold that thought. I think I'm beginning to hear something. You hear it too, probably. Wait, your father wants to bond with you now? And, no, basically, Gohan's just like, oh, well, at least there is one silver lining in this. We can use him as a training dummy for its power. And basically, Blue's like, I see. He wants you to become a Super Saiyan. You can already see that. What Super Saiyan would do for the power of the Bunkai. Especially of our little blue little blue rose thorn. Gohan, you are indeed a tactical genius whenever it comes to things like this. But always remember, the king is nothing without his horse. And the same for the horse. The horse is nothing without their king. While you indeed will be training for Super Saiyan, you must indeed remember training Rose Thorn to reach Bunkai. And Gohan's like, oh, trust me, I got this shit down to muscle memory whenever we reach Shikai. And Blue's like, oh, yes, that's right. Simply using Cell as an experimental dummy for our true power. Shikai. Once the both of us had reached our transcendent state and then fused together to create our true perfect form of our own, as whenever we advance to Shikai. And once we master this Saiyan transformation, but with the translation to will of a human, that is whenever we will achieve it. Bangai. Now allow me to show you the power which you will hold eventually. Now, what the? Bankai. Ugh. What was that all about? And Blue just being like, that indeed was just a twinkle in the eyes of sentience of Bonk for our rose thorn. And basically Gohan being like, oh, I see. So we are far from our peak. Very far from our peak. At least there is one thing of Shenron I didn't really misinformation. We will always become stronger. And with that, our little rose thorn will always become stronger. As it is simple, Zombato created from our energy and transformation each time that it happens. Yes, as the blue rose, we will become truly powerful. I can't wait. And Blue just like, yes, truly I did indeed see it right to set King straight. For now, I can sense it myself. Look out, world. The blue rose has just now bloomed, and it's ready to go on the attack. And basically, I'm gonna say, the end of this goes action memories, you boys, like, favorite, subscribe, look at that little bell. I don't think it's switching my blue sweat shoes. You know, eat and misdirection. Deuces.